Good morning. It's Monday, December 12th, 2022. My name is Terry Morgan. We are here to practice cloud hands. We have some foundation work that I've been giving for the last couple of weeks. I'm going to continue with that this week, next week, and the following week. So last 2 weeks of December is what I'm going for. I'm going to take off. I'll be here on Thursday and Friday for Qigong class. I'm going to take Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday off. I've been online Monday through Friday, every day, pretty much for the last year plus, and I need to take a little bit of time off to do a couple of things. I would like to be taking a vacation, but no. I have some equipment that I need to get set up for this class, and I've mentioned before that I've got some writing, some books that I've been working on. My big year-end push is to get 2 of them finished, that they're ready to go to another editor, perhaps. We'll see how that's going to work out, but that's my goal. I'm well on my way. And again, I've talked about this before. You take your success where you can find it. And if you find success and you've done the work, congratulate yourself for it. Acknowledge that, yeah, I did that and I did it reasonably well. Where you need to improve, don't hide that from yourself. You might want to hide it if you're going to be on stage or something. You might hide that from the audience, but don't hide that from yourself. And that's part of what this class is about, is getting in touch with that. Under that sense of, this is what I'm doing. Is it correct or not? So that getting in touch with that sense, getting in touch with that. Is this correct? Is it not? What am I doing? What should I be doing? Is what I'm doing enjoyable? Do I feel good while I'm practicing? Does it give me some enjoyment, some connection within myself as well as with other people that I might be practicing with? And there's that. Okay, so that, what am I doing? Is it correct? Is it not? How could I improve it? That thought process, that's the same one that we use here. That's the same one that I use in my writing. What am I trying to do? Did I do it? Could I be better? Is there a way to make it better? Is it fine like it is? Is it, is it working well or not? Can I make it better? Right? And then, what does it take to make it better? Is it not working? Is it not right? What does it need to be? What needs to be fixed? That process applies to pretty much everything we do. Everything. We can apply that to everything. And I'm going to emphasize something here. It's not that we want to point a finger. Oh, that's good, that's bad, that's good, that's bad. No, some things are just, this is the way they are. It's not good and it's not bad. It's, is this what I can do? Is this what I should be doing? Is it correct? Is it not correct? If it is correct, great. That doesn't mean it's good or bad. That means it's correct. Okay? And that's different than the judgmental. Okay? So I'm going to make a verbal distinction here real quick. And it may or may not be valid, but I'm going to use it for right now. Judgment. I'm going to make a judgment about what this is. I'm going to look at it carefully. I'm going to understand what it is, and I'm going to decide if it's correct or not according to the principles that need to be applied. That's not good or bad. That's correct or not. Okay? And correct doesn't translate directly to good or bad. It's, this is correct, this is not correct. When I look at something, if I'm looking at someone's performance, if I'm looking at a competition, I'm judging. And I look at the way someone moves, and they move well. That's good. That's good. They're good. This person's pretty good. They don't move well. The person needs some work. They need to work on this and this and this. You've got to do something really bad to get me to say, yo, that's bad. There's been a couple of times, and that's usually a private conversation that I have with somebody else who knows what they're looking at. That sense of, look at that, that's good. Look at that, that's bad. That attitude, no. Look at that, observe. What's going on over here? What is really happening? This is something you can pay attention to as a positive thing that you can learn how to do something from. Look over here. This is not what you should do. This is something that you can learn how to not do things. Look at this. This is what we should not do. I can learn from that as well. So, if I can learn from it, it's not a bad thing. What that person may be doing, what's going on, that may be incorrect, it may be a problem. And again, I'm talking about something that we're doing in movement, something that I might have seen in tournaments. So I'm putting this in that context right now. There are other contexts that I can look at, and I'm not doing that right now because we're in practice. There are other contexts that I can look at in which how I judge what is correct, how I look at and make that judgment about what is correct, what is not correct, and try to avoid being judgmental is different. Feet about shoulder width apart, bend the knees, wiggle the toes, wiggle the fingers, and circle the front, and back around to both sides. Basic stretch, up along center line, and reach up, stretch out over the legs. Not too fast, not too slow. And one more time. Fingertips reach up, elbows drop down, wrists and hands return to your sides. All right, and open the arms a little bit more. As we move, and you see this in my movements and you'll feel it in your own movements, as we move a little bit more quickly, we need to be more fluid in those movements, and the way that the body moves, that roll up through the spine as we come up, that bend and curve as we go over, need to be well placed, well aligned, and smooth. How do we make them smooth? Work very, very slowly. As we move very, very slowly, and we're going to do this one time, as we move very slowly, we will find where there are any issues. We will find where there's a weight difference. We will find, and we're going to work on this a little bit in Cloud Hands as soon as we get done with this. It makes it really easy to find where there is something that could be corrected. All right, in all of our movements, the core idea is that we should move fully, completely. One part moves, all parts move. We're not stiff, we don't have any of the joints locked. We have everything circulating and moving freely so that whatever we want to do, we can do. This idea of moving slowly, to find where there's a blockage, to find where there's something that's a little bit stiff, it's not quite there, I can't do that full extent of the movement, it just ain't working. How do we find that? This basic stretch, and we're gonna apply the same principle here in Cloud Hands practice in a minute. Feet about shoulder width apart. Stand. I'm gonna do this sideways because it'll be easier to see. Yeah, there we go. All right. Feet about shoulder width apart. Nice, comfortable spot. You're going to be here for a minute. Literally, you're going to be here for a minute. Stand straight. Pull up through the crown of the head. Check your foot position. Check your knees. Your knees should be bent. Toes should be spread open. The arch of the foot pulled up. The heel sinking down. Open through the lower back. Pull up through the crown of the head. The neck, spine open. Shoulders down and relaxed. That basic stretch. Slowly. And yes, I am moving. I told you it was going to take a minute. It really is going to take probably more than a minute. And notice the adjustment that I just made in my hip. I am still moving. Everything's moving. And there's a part of the movement that I have to pay attention to in a little bit different way because I'm talking through it so that you can get a little bit of a sense. Right shoulder, of what it is actually going to take. Yeah, shoulders down. Yeah, watch, focus the space between the arms. Don't move too fast. That was a little too fast. My hips wanted to go faster than my timing had been set. Alright, so that I got that for a second. I'm paying a lot of attention to the back of my legs and my toes, making sure that my hip is set nicely over my heel and my toes grip. And that I'm trying not to bend at the waist, that as I reach out through the torso and extending from the hip through the spine, not just through the upper body. As I reach the full extension, I can't go anymore, there's a floor there. Right, that idea of now I need to start up begins through the feet, not through the upper body, and extends up through the back of the leg into the hip, so that the hip begins to turn over the leg. Spine, tailbone sinks down. And each vertebra stacks up on top of the one below it. Nice and open, very easy. Yeah, watch the shoulders there. Now you saw me just pull my shoulders back. Yes, I did. Okay, keep shoulders. Let the arms hang. Keep the shoulders. And put a little bit of energy in the arms. About halfway up my back now. And begin. Raise the arms. It's slow. It's really slow. Almost there. Please wait. Reach up. Keep going. Stretch up through the spine. Keep shoulders down. And now bring the arms down. Keep going. I've started moving a little faster. I'm almost done here. And I am going to talk about this in just a second. There's a couple things I got to talk about. Hands return to your sides. Almost. 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 Another minute. Couple seconds. There we go. Hands return to your sides. All right, let it go. All right, stop. All right, this exercise, couple things. First, it's really hard to move that slow and keep everything moving. This is an exercise that Huang Wenlin taught was way back in the 80s when I very first started. So this is old school. This slow practice gives you the opportunity to find anything that's not working well. Two things for me. First, as we were coming up, right, we're here, I was focused around here, right here. I started here. I was focused very much on my back. And look what I did. Look at my shoulders. Look at my arms. No. That is, okay, and now I want to distinguish something. That is fine for a different exercise. That is not fine for what we're doing here. I'm going to separate that. For there's in dance and theater, we did something that's called a puppet exercise. And the idea behind it was that one person would be the puppeteer and the other person would be the puppet. And however the puppeteer moved the puppet needed to move. So if I did this with my arms, the person who was my puppet needed to do this. If someone was manipulating me and they picked up my leg, I needed to pick up my leg. Being able to do that required a great deal of flexibility and a lot of coordination between the two people who were working on the exercise. It wasn't a, it's the puppeteer needs to know what the puppet can do, right? And this is true in quite a few other pairing arts, particularly in, if we think about it in martial arts, lion dance. The front of the lion and the back of the lion. The two people have to really tightly coordinate with each other. All right, that coordination, that connection, and that ability to work smoothly together is what we want to cultivate here. So, I mean, this shoulder thing, all right, the puppet exercise, I want to be able to do this. I want to have that sense of, unless I'm being asked to do something, I don't do anything, and I'm limp, right? I want that. For this exercise that we're doing this morning, this Qigong exercise that we're doing, to find where there's blockage, we don't want that. Okay? So my correction, I mixed them. Both are good. We need to distinguish which is which. In this exercise, as I extend here, I need to keep, not let this go. I need to keep this working. Right? It's a different feeling and it has a different effect on what we're trying to accomplish. My point at the beginning, is this correct? Yes or no? No, it wasn't. What would have been correct? I just gave that. Keep the shoulders, keep the energy there, right? How do I fix it? Keep the energy there, keep the shoulders down, keep energy in the arms, use them. That idea, a little bit wider. Let's, I'll do it this way. Feet together. Open the toes. Open the heels. Open the toes. Open the heels again. Straighten the toes. Horse stance. We're going to use this for cloud hands. The same idea, and I may turn sideways on this, I'm not sure yet. Sit there. 65, give or take. This is 45-ish, right? If I go to 90, I need to be here. Ish. I'm close. A little bit more, go down, and be all right. I want to come back to here. This is comfy. Be comfortable. Knees bent. give or take 65. We don't want this, right now I'm not going to do this low because we're going to move very, very slowly. And doing low work very, very slowly requires a great deal of strength. It does. That resilient, and I want to call it tensile, that you can extend and withdraw, that ability to move through the movement, use the muscles, extend, that tensile strength has to be there. There's no other way. There's no other way if you're moving on the ground, okay? So, I'm thinking whether I'm going to turn around. I'm not going to turn around right now. As we move, this cloud hand, so I've got my right foot. I'll mirror you in a minute. Just this right leg, right knee goes around the toe to the outside of the foot, comes back to the heel, and comes around to the toe again. As the knee comes back to the heel, the weight begins to transfer to the other foot, the heel on the opposite foot. Come around the toe, come around the outside of the foot, and transfer to the other leg. I'm going to turn around for just a second so you can see this. Horse stance. And go to the right, turn to the left, and turn to the right, and turn to the left, okay? That circle is a figure 8. So as I come around to the outside and I come around here, and we are going to the outside, there is an inward circle. This is where we're doing the outside circle now, okay? So everything's going to the outside. On the right side, that is a clockwise circle. On the left side, that is a counterclockwise circle. We're going wax on, wax off, right? This one goes this way, this one. They're both going to the outside. Outside to the outside, right? Inside to the outside. This is outside to the inside. Different direction. We're going to the outside. We're going to use... I'm going to use Yang style cloud hands this morning. I may use Wudang tomorrow. We use cloud hands from Yang style this morning. And this is what it looks like right here. Alright, that circle in the knee, turn the waist. This hand moves up and across, chest height, middle dantian, give or take it. It's not up here, it's here. Shoulder, elbow, wrist. The shoulder is higher than the elbow is higher than the wrist. As the hands come in, it's a little bit, not a lot, a little bit. Nice smooth slope. Down, around, big circle. On the other side, same thing. As the arm circles, everything is moving. The shoulders stay down and relaxed. The waist turns in coordination with the upper body and the lower body so that the hips and the shoulders, elbows and the knees, hands and the feet are all well coordinated. Slowly. We're going to be here for a minute. Get comfy. Right? Check your stance. Is this good for me? Can I move from here? I think so. Am I too high, too low? Am I too wide? Where's my feet? All right. I'm going to start to my left. I'm going to start to your right. Slowly. Cloud hands from Yang style Tai Chi. And we're going to go one time and return back to this position. And I'll do my best to talk through it like I was doing before. So, ready? Begin. Yeah, I am. I'm moving. I am. I'm moving. A bunch of stuff is moving. So, changes in my left hip, heel, foot, weight transfer starting. Starting to change the weight. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there. This is the seriously slow-mo Tai Chi, right? Don't forget the other arm, right? I was paying attention to my weight change and my waist, and I was not paying attention to my left arm. My left arm is kind of out of position now, so I need to move it over a little more quickly. There we go. Keep going. Yeah, it's keep going. We'll get there. We're gonna get there. We'll get there. We're gonna get there. Eventually, we'll get there. And you can see, or you should be able to see, where my weight is fully extended over the right foot. My right hand is started down. The left hand is started up. And I sink more into the foot. And I've missed the coordination spot for the turn through the knee. I did. I missed it. And now we're back over onto the going toward the left. And that is coordinated. Sink into the heel. Keep going. You saw me wiggle my hand there, and I let go some tension in the lower part of my arm. And we're going to get there. We're going to get there. Almost there. Right about here, the full extent of my weight is over the left, and I've just started the transfer to the right. All right. Stop. This slow motion, right? I got over on I'm over here on my right side, and my knee wasn't doing anything. It was just there. It wasn't doing anything. It should have been moving, but it wasn't. What happened? I set my weight to turn. And I did that more quickly than the rest of me was moving. My timing. But teacher, nobody moves in slow motion. If we're going to have an application, if there's any kind of martial art here, we can't, nobody gonna move in slow motion. We have to be able to move. We do. That slow motion lets us find where there's tension, where there's a problem, where there's miscoordination, where there's timing that is not correct for that movement. Do this with any movement you might want to use. You will find that as you move extremely slowly, you have to pay attention to the weight changes. You have to pay attention to how you are using your weight, how you are using your energy, and how you are focused on whatever that movement is. You noticed at the beginning I was doing a couple of things, and I mentioned that I was starting to speed up. I'm close to being done here. I'm moving slow. I want to go faster, but I'm not going faster. Right? That impulse. I want to go faster, but I'm going slowly right now. What do we learn from paying attention to that impulse? We learn how to sense the changes in speed of movement. And if I need to do something, is it not to my advantage to be able to sense the changes in the speed of movement in my opponent's movement? To be able to see those small movements before they happen so that I can not be there? I see you're going to punch me with your right hand, okay? Go ahead. There's a wall over here. Keep going. Let me not be there when it arrives. Being able to see that, being able to use that small movement. In Tai Chi, we call that 4 ounces can deflect 10,000 pounds. If we know where to apply that force, if we know the right time and the right position and the right place to apply that force, it takes nothing to deflect. It takes nothing. Seriously, I know this. All right? It takes nothing. Timing, placement, knowing what's going on with the movement, being able to do whatever it is that's required. This is what's required? Great. Okay, cool. This is what's required? Okay, great. Can I do that? Being able to do that as a reaction, not as a thought process. It's not, we don't respond in microseconds by thinking about it. We don't. It's part of how we have conditioned the body. All right. Last thing that I'm going to talk about this morning, because I'm going to go write, and I'm writing and editing stuff, and it's been going really well. It's not as fast as I'd like, but it's going really well, so I'm going to go do that. Last thing this morning, and we're going to work on this a little bit more this week, as well as we're going to do some things in Qigong class that will support some of this as well. So, applications. I mentioned this, and I've talked about it, I'm going to talk about it again. I'm going to talk about it a lot in cloud hands, horse stance, high horse stance. This is a lower horse stance. This is a higher horse stance, horse stance. In cloud hands, right here, this is what we were just doing, from Yang style. This cloud hands. I'm going to just keep doing this for a minute. And drop in, I just drop my hip again, opened up a little thing in the shoulders, that's what this was doing. Open up shoulder. Right? As I go back and forth, right? Knee with the elbow, hands with the feet, shoulders with the hips, upper body with the lower body, nicely coordinated, not leaning, right? So I'm not leaning forward, I'm not leaning back, I'm not leaning side to side. We're not leaning in, Yang style is not leaning. Wu style, the use of the angle is much more pronounced. Not in Yang style. Sit. Right? What am I doing? Seriously, what am I doing? Ward off, press, pull down, push. Ward off, press, pull down, push. Peng, lu, ji, an. Peng, ward off. Lu, pull down. Ji, press. An, push. Those 4 are cardinal applications in Tai Chi. North, south, east, and west. Cardinal directions. That's what Pang Lu Jian matches up with. 再来就 call the other 4. The angular directions, northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest. 旁、直、捋、按。Ward off. Press. Pull down. Pull down, right? Pull down. Push. Ward off. Pong. Press. G. So, pong has a sense of go away. Hit. 5. Hit. Go. G. Press. Connect and keep going. I know. You're going and we're going together. Here we go. Okay? So, yeah, we can think of this. Go away. Go away. Bye. Pong. Ward off. Press. Go away. I'm going to help you go. Let me help you. Right? Pull down. It's not hard to distinguish that one. Pull down. Up to down. Push. Push has a sense of pushing forward and down. Pong has a sense of outward and up. But no, excuse me. Pong has a sense of outward, down, and up. An has a sense of downward and out. You're still going down. You're going down. By that idea. These 4 applications, and these are not, I'm going to stress this. This is not pong. It's not. Pong is the energy and the idea behind what the movement is doing. It's not this movement all by itself. That was pong. I used my hip and my knee. Pong. G. I just pushed my foot into your leg. It wouldn't have been comfortable. G. G. The type of movement, the way that we do the movement, and the particulars for this or that application are not always the same. So a lot of people get this idea that, and I freely admit I was one of them. Here, cloud hands. Yang style, here we go. This is ward off, right? This is ward off. As I step forward in Yang style, this is ward off, right? That's ward off. This is pull down, this is ward off. Ward off. That's all it is ward off. There's no other ward off. That's ward off. That's all there is. No. That's ward off. It is. It looks different, doesn't it? But it's the same application. Ward off. When we pay attention, and back to this, you're on your right, I'm on my left. When we pay attention to the application, pay attention where your right hand is, down here. Over here, right here. It's busy. This is should be paying attention to things, right? This area right here, ward off. And my shoulder, drop shoulder, ward off. Could be pulled down from over here, but I wouldn't have my hand here and do pull down. Wouldn't, not come in this direction. It's not logical. What weight transfer, what I might be doing doesn't match, it doesn't follow from, it doesn't agree with what I should be doing in pull down. Not here. Over here it does. Not here. Here, and ward off. That's really what we're doing right here. Ward off. Don't want anything right here. Thanks. No kicks, no punches. I'm on my left, you're on your right. Upper hand comes across. Lower hand follows. Pay attention where that lower hand is. Upper hand comes down. Sink the weight. Keep the knee open. Transfer the weight to the other side. Sink into the heel. Sink down more. Pay attention to the inside of the other foot as you turn to go. So from here, I'm paying attention to my left foot, the inside of the foot, come around the toes, come around the outside of the foot, sink into the heel, all my weight's over my left foot. And now I start the transition to my right foot, and the right foot to the inside and around the toes, come around the toes to the outside of the foot, the outside of the foot, round to the heel, and sink into it, and onto the left side again. Stop. That transfer, that changing in the weight, the change in the direction, and the way that we coordinate that gives us the applications. Ward off. Here, ward up. Press. Keep going. Pull down. Push. It's all there. If we don't pay attention to it, if we don't recognize, at the very minimum, if we don't recognize that there are applications, that this is a martial art, it's not a let me go wave my hands around, right? There are lots of dance moves that do this, right? Of course there are. There's a ton of them. That's dance. Dance has a story behind the movement. Dance has a feeling behind the movement. Dance has an emotional representation behind the movement. The dancer tries to embody that emotion, to embody that ideal, to embody that idea. That's part of the art. In the martial arts, we're not trying to embody an emotion. We have applications. If we're not paying attention to them, we're doing something else. It's not a bad thing to do something else. Dance is really cool. I like dance. But we need to distinguish what we're doing over here and what we're doing over here. Is this what belongs over here? If it is, great. If it's not, we need to keep them separate. I called that out in class this morning where I was doing something that belonged to an exercise that I learned from dance, and I had mixed it with an exercise from Qigong. Knowing that, first step, recognizing what it is. Second step, recognizing exactly what I did. First, there's something different. I don't know, doesn't really belong here. What did I do? I was too relaxed through the shoulders. I needed to have some energy there. How do I fix it? Well, I'm going to put some energy there. Right? Being able to see that, being able to do that and work with it is fundamental to long-term practice. You have to do it. I can't do it. I can't do that for you. You have to do that. I can show you how to do it. Tried to a little bit this morning. And I can help you understand what may or may not be working. Because I've tried a lot of things over the years that some of it work real well and some not so much. I can help with that. At the end of the day, it's your practice. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. I'm going to be back tomorrow. More fundamentals at foundation work. Thursday and Friday, Qigong foundations. Thursday, foundation sets. Friday, the advanced sets. I hope you'll join me. Thank you.